Do a cheer here. Dice arriba, por abajo,
Oh, here.
por dentro.
Arriba?
I don't fucking arriba, abajo. How's this shit go? How do you say here?
Arriba,
por abajo, come on.
abajo.
Por centro, adentro. I fucking forgot. I should know this. My wife's gonna be pissed at me. Welcome to another episode of the LFG Let's Fucking Go show. We're talking the baddest motherfuckers on the planet, making money online, doing big shit, and living life on their own terms. I got, seriously, one of my favorite people in the industry, my buddy Ray Sinlao. Great to fucking have you here. He's the CEO of Standard Conversions. He's a fucking monster in the space. I've known you for a long time, man, and we've been all over the fucking world together. We've been in Asia. We've been, I don't know, fucking all over the world. Now we're in Medellin, Colombia. This fucking view. You just literally landed, man. So I appreciate you doing this shit last minute.
Yeah, dude. I pull up. My flight lands from Miami. As soon as I walk through the door, they're like, "Hey, we're shooting this shit right now." I'm like, "What the? Can we cuss on this thing?"
Yeah, curse, okay, man. I fucking curse all day long.
Yeah, my bad. Okay.
You see, people that curse the most have the most integrity, man. So you got a lot of fucking integrity. You're good in my book. Yeah. So yeah, we're in Colombia, right? I take good care of my fucking health, man. Very good care of my health. But we're in Colombia, man. I do a lot of drinking, man. It's part of the game. So let's do a fucking cheers here.
Cheers.
And we got some aguardiente, some guardo. We're going to bust this open. Have you ever had this in your life?
I don't even know what that is.
You're about to fucking drink this shit. Let's get this shit. How are we going to do this shit? We need some help, I think, here. Anyway, we're going to fucking bust this shit open pretty soon. And we're going to get into it. So let me ask you a question, man.
Yeah, what's up?
Before we get into it, as we figure this shit out. Let's talk about what Standard Conversions done and how you got into Legion. Like, what's the deal? Tell us about your story.
Like how I got into internet marketing in general, or lead gen?
Or like what was your story? What got you into like the digital marketing space? You started off in Ecom, right?
Yeah, so I was a software engineer.
Yeah.
Then I worked for this company, did background checks, and I mean, like I just saw them. They built a product and they had this like sales funnel that was super optimized. I worked as a software engineer.
Yeah.
And a front end developer. Actually, no. I was in a software engineer at the time. I was more of like a UI person.
Yeah.
And we would like make tests every day to like increase the conversion rate.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 million people came in every day.
Yeah.
And then we would put up some. Hi.
Oh, we're getting assistance here because I'm having a tough time here.
Hello.
Muchas gracias.
Yeah. So like what would happen is I would create a test. It would be like a different button. It would be a different thing on the funnel.
Yeah.
And that would like boost it by, a small percent. But the thing is like when they're doing as much volume as they were doing at the time, which is, I mean, bigger than anything I've really seen anyone of us do right now. It was 1 million uniques per day. Okay. So you make an adjustment, even if it like won by 0.2%, if you're like looking at that amount of volume, it's just crushing. So I took that, got into affiliate marketing, and then leveraged my skill in conversion rate optimization, and pretty much just started to win pretty quickly relatively to like most people who are getting into the space. Yeah,
cool. And that's why I feel like in our game, there's a lot of pattern recognition, right? You gotta you catch something that's working, you fucking press the gas on it. Something's not working, you scale fast, fail fast kind of shit, right? So you feel that's where you kind of got that foundation for that?
Yeah, you just test, and then you don't have like the thing is a lot of people, they get really like emotionally involved with how they want things to look and be. Yeah. But like when you do it how you're supposed to, you just test it, and no matter like what wins. So like a lot of the stuff that in my business, I mean, especially when I was a affiliate for a long time, I would like look at creatives created by my creative team and be like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah. But then I would have them launch it anyways, and it would just win. Yeah. There would be like typos, misspellings, the B-roll would look weird. Yeah. And then it would just crush. So now I'm just like, hey, I don't care.
There you go.
Thank you.
Es la primera vez que estás tomando guardo.
Is that how you say it?
So your first time.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, okay. They call guardo here. Sorry to cut it off, but this is...
Yeah, so you just you just test it, and sometimes you really get surprised by what works on that side of things. Went from just like running other people's offers to the lead gen side of things in like 2021.
Okay.
Cheers. I talk about him in like every podcast that I'm in.
Yeah, Adam's a man.
Yeah. He just messages me out of nowhere and he goes, hey man, like whatever you're doing right now, you need to come do this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, I trust Adam.
Yeah.
So I was like, I literally like pivoted my entire company from doing affiliate ecom to doing pay-per-call stuff.
So let's talk about that, right? First of all, let's do it here. Dice arriba, por abajo, por adentro.
Arriba?
I don't fucking arriba, abajo. How's this shit go? How do you say here?
Arriba,
por abajo,
abajo.
Por centro, adentro. I fucking forgot. I should know this. My wife's gonna be pissed at me. My wife's from Colombia. She's from Medellin.
Ooh.
That's why I say that. Shit, that was good. You like that? All right, so check it out. So you talked about a lot of things on there, right? You talked about going from e-com to lead gen. And I feel like in our industry in particular, a lot of people start off with e-com, or they go from lead gen to e-com and they switch back and forth, right? But you had some sort of light bulb moment. I like to call those LFG, let's fucking go moments, right? Where like, I gotta make a move, I gotta make some shit happen. So let's talk about what was it speaking with Adam Young that caused you to do that? Like, where were you when you made that transition?
To lead gen?
Yeah, like what caused you? What were the events that caused you to do that?
Literally, he's one of my friends that I just trust.
Yeah.
I highly respect him. And he's like, hey, if you're gonna, he's like, do this. So I was like, I trust you.
Yeah.
So we just did it.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the best decisions we've made in our business in the entire time it's existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been doing this since like 2016.
That's awesome. So you talk about trust, right? And to me, that's we can talk about buying media and doing this, doing that, trying to cut costs. But to me, and probably to you, because we run in a lot of the same circles, it's all about fucking trust, right? At the end of our business,
Everything's trust. Because the thing is, you're doing business with someone. And I mean, there are a lot of good players, but there are also a lot of bad players.
Yeah.
Like you could be running ads, and one day, I heard of like networks just like flying by night. They'll come in and be like, I'll buy all your data, calls, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they'll owe you like $100,000 and then just disappear.
Yeah.
And we've seen that, I don't know, dozens of times at least, you know?
Yeah.
And I've only been in the space for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So like, you know, trust is everything. Your reputation's everything. Your name's everything. Yeah. That's the most important thing.
And I like to say, I want to talk about something. I was talking to someone earlier today. Somebody pitched me some product, someone that I trust. Yeah.
God, my shorts are short today.
This is a real life shit, man. So like someone I trust, I trust this guy, right? He does pretty good numbers of pay-per-call. We've always had good times, never had any issues. He pitched me a product that was similar to a product I got burned on. I didn't get burned a lot of money. It was a few $1,000s. Thankfully, it wasn't in the 6 figures. But he's pitching me this product. I'm like, bro, you know, this sounds very similar to some shit I got burned on. Apparently, it's not the same company or whatever. But you know, let's talk about that. I mean, as part of being in this industry, any business, you're going to get fucked, and you got to be prepared to get fucked. It's going to happen. I almost say that if you haven't got fucked, you're not making enough money, right? Yeah. If you haven't gotten sued or fucked or whatever. So let's talk about that, man. How have you reacted to that kind of stuff? How have you responded when you've gotten fucked? And what has caused that to happen? How have you adapted to prevent yourself from being fucked?
It's pretty similar to the split test stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So you kind of come in. Obviously, you have your shit tests with people. You're like, okay, cool. Like, when you meet someone, you're like, who else knows him?
Yeah.
So it's like, Samar, it's like, do you know this dude? Samar's like, nah, who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, do you know him? He's like, I've heard about him.
Yeah.
And then you talk to another dude, he's like, oh, he fucked me.
Yeah.
It's like, done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a quote from Warren Buffett that says, if you can't trust someone 100%, then don't even work with them at all. So it's like, even if you could only trust them like 99.9%, like that 0.1% is everything. Yeah. So like I come in, I'm like, I don't like this dude's vibe. Yeah. I don't like what one person said about him.
Yeah.
Then it's over. Then I'm not working with them.
Yeah.
Because there's like a lot of people to do great business with in our space, you know? And so you just always have to protect your reputation on both sides, on the buyer side, on the publisher side, and just be like transparent with each other. Because like at the end of the day, like we're trying to do great things together.
Yeah.
Not like, we're not trying to like fuck each other over and get over on each other. Like even, at any level, it's like we just do win, win, win for everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was one situation where that product that I got fucked with, like that was a bad product, whatever, I did a chargeback on them. They said to you, oh, Dave Stodolak uses this shit, and you signed up for it, right? Because they dropped my name.
I mean, once he said your name, and I trust you, you're like one of those dudes that I trust. Yeah. Like if Dave's like, yo, dude, fuck all that other shit, do this. I'd be like, all right, let's go. You know, like, and until the guy dropped your name, And I was like, send the fucking money right now. Yeah. And then, so we paid for it. And it was just like a weird onboarding process. I'm like, who are these people on his call? Yeah. And then he just like didn't respond for a while. Nothing happened, $0 revenue. Random data was coming through. And then I came back to you and you're like, yo, he didn't do shit for me either. And you're like, meet these other dudes he didn't do shit for. Yeah. And then so, by the way, the company's called...
Listen, you fuck people over. This is what happens in the industry, man. Yeah.
And so it's like we all made $0. Yeah. We all have a thing. And it's like, for the rest of his life, no one's ever going to trust him. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, that was like it wasn't a huge thing, but it's like a thing where it's like, even his employees launched their own brand. I'm like, I'm not even fucking with that guy either, because they're tied and shit. Yeah, you know? That's what happens. So you gotta like watch your circle and shit. The association. Yeah, that too. Because like, if we're rolling around with like scammers and shit, like
they're gonna think we're scammers. Yeah,
and we're not. Yeah, we're stand-up dudes.
Yeah, no, that's true, and I love that you said that, because regardless if you've been in this industry for fucking 10 years, 20 years, you're just getting into it, it's gonna happen. It happened to me the first fucking few months I got in business. Every month I'm getting fucked by someone, $2 grand, $3 grand, $5 grand. And I'm like, what the hell, man? I'm like running out of money getting fucked. And then you learn, you develop like a bullshit detector. But even with that bullshit detector, sometimes shit slips through. So you gotta minimize the risk, right? Take small risks, go from there, and then keep that shit moving, man, at the end of the day.
You just gotta like background check, essentially, between the thing. If nobody knows them, maybe give them a small test. Yeah. If they make that first payment, you're like, okay. Yeah. But still, ideally, someone always has to be vouched for by somebody. I
agree. So like a checklist you have to do, right? Yeah. That was a good time to do another shot here. That's what happens, man. You're in Colombia, this is what goes down.
Yeah. God damn, this is not lighting.
All right, light that shit up, and I'll give you some of this.
Yeah, by the way, like, I don't even drink at home. My life is very, what's it, like, rated, like, PG? Yeah, where, like, PG, I have my child. I live in a place where, like, you know, mostly retired people, Coronado, California. And I just go to the gym. Everything's, like, very regimented. But when I travel, all bets are off. And I'm doing shots in Medellin.
Yeah. You know, take yours out. Oh, my bad. I'm a fucking jerk off.
Oh my God, dude.
I'm getting Wait, yo soy muy mal.
Are you nervous, bro?
I'm fucking nervous, bro.
Fucking nervous?
I'm getting nervous, man. That's an inside joke between us over here. This is going to talk about the nervous shit, right? Salud, man. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, let's drink this shit together.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, shit. I was making sure you were drinking it. So check it out. I say that to... I got like a quirky sense of humor, right? I say to people, like, you get like a manly man, you say, are you fucking nervous? They get offended by that shit, man. Yeah. Yo, you question my head, what the fuck am I nervous about? I ain't fucking nervous, right? So it's like an inside joke between Ray and a bunch of our friends. But let's go back to that shit with the trust stuff, right? Because I can't emphasize that enough. We're in the trust business. When you're selling leads to a client, they're putting trust in you, right? They're giving you a percentage of their budget, whether it's $5 grand, 10 grand, 100 grand, $1 million, right? And if you can, your word is your bond, like they say, word is bond back in the day. Your word is your fucking bond. If you're going to deliver upon what you said you're going to deliver upon, that budget goes from 5 grand to 10 grand, then they go to $1 million. It could be unlimited, man.
Yeah, it's just a credit system, right? Like, yeah. What was it again?
No, but it's about scaling campaigns, right?
This is getting to me.
Yeah, that's what happened. All right, we went chill for a little bit. But the point is that trust is so important, not only from buying media from people, buying leads from them, but also, you know, your advertisers. They won't spend the big money with you unless there's some level of trust and you're hitting KPIs. Let's talk about that. Like, how was that? I mean, obviously you're a stand-up guy, right? That's why you're putting up the numbers you're putting up in the pay-per-call world. But let's talk about that. Like, how are you able to gain trust with your advertisers so they can spend, you know, 5-6 figures a day with you like they do?
I mean, at any point, you just have to like inch it up. Yeah. You don't want to like show up and just be like, hey, I'm already doing this volume. You promised me that we could have this RPC, revenue per call. You just route all your traffic there, and then all of a sudden, it falls apart, right? Yeah. Like for me, I go, okay, let's start with like 10 grand or something, right? Yeah. 10 grand they pay, 50, 100, $250,000. Yeah. And now we're off to the races and shit. Yeah. And then like over time, obviously, I think one of the biggest things too is meeting people in person.
Yeah. Huge.
You know? Because like you could have all this biz where you're just like online, just chatting with each other, voice call. You could gain like some levels of trust, but nothing's like hanging out like this and face to face. Like you're a real person. Yeah. You don't have to have drinks. A lot of people don't. I like to have drinks and like just get to know like, hey, we're real people. You can hang out. You're here. I could touch you. You know, we're good. Talk about your family, all that fun stuff, and like, just like become actual friends. Yeah,
and I think that's huge. That gets overlooked is that you want to deliver quality leads. You want to hit KPIs, right? That's one thing. But I, in particular, have been in a situation where I was maybe outside the CPA. Maybe let's say for solar, the CPA is 2,200, right? I might have a month I'm running 3,500. I'm running a little high, but because I have such a good relationship, it keeps me in the game. It'll give me a little bit more leeway with them, and then I get it back down to where it needs to be, right? So I think that's something that people don't talk about enough. And I think a lot of media buyers and people who do digital marketing, they're gifted at generating the leads, but they don't know how to manage the account, and they're not able to. They get nervous, real fucking nervous with the fucking buyer because they think they're gonna fuck shit up, right? They forget to just be yourself, man. Be authentic. Yeah. Talk about how has that served you? Because I feel like you're a very authentic person, man.
I think being transparent too.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, even if you're doing some things that toe the line. Of like, I guess compliance. Yeah. The more aggressive angles, that kind of shit. Yeah. And like, I mean, everyone that's watching this right now, if you're in the game, if you're just straight vanilla, you're like, hey, buy this solar thing. Yeah. Like, it's not going to work. Your ads are just going to bomb. Your CPC is going to be way too high. Yeah. I think you kind of have to use your copywriting skills and get in there and say some things that will really make people. I used to say this about in e-commerce. I was like, I'm an expert at making people or separate. No, I'm not going to say that. No, but it's like I'm an expert at having people put their credit card into our form and pay us for this product. Yeah. And where were we going with this? We're talking about the trust factor, the relationships, and how. Yeah. So, as a publisher, you just have to like let your buyer know like this is what I'm doing. If you're okay with it, we're good. If you're not, let's figure out a way to get there. Yeah. So let's talk. And a lot of it too is just changing a word. Yeah. In it, right? So it's like instead of saying, "Hey, this is like what you actually get," it's like this is what you may get. Yeah. Right? No, I love it as well. This is stuff that's very overlooked in our game. And these are the things that'll make the difference, I think, between doing 5 figures a month to 6 figures a month to 7 figures a month with a buyer. Yeah, and also like burning the relationship. Yeah. Too. And like you said, it's such a small circle, man. There's a lot of people in our industry, especially you go to Philly Summit, man. I love the Philly Summit, but there's just so many fucking people. The cream ones are being at the fucking penthouses at the Cosmo or some penthouse at the Wynn or some private party, right? That's where the cream, or Omnia, where someone's spending 6 figures on bottles. That's where the fucking action happens. And I want to talk about that because I feel like we met at the Chandelier Bar. We met at the fucking Chandelier Bar 6 years ago, just out of nowhere. I was hanging out with my buddies. Fuck, I forgot about that. He was like, "Yo, what's up? And I was like, "What the fuck? Who the fuck is this dude?" And then fucking, I think like 2 years later, I got into the lead gen space, and I was like, "Dude, you're the fucking guy from the Chandelier Bar." And then fucking then we started working. And we see each other everywhere. Well, we tried to work together. Yeah. I don't know if we ever worked together, but we did a little bit. We went some campings, but that's the beauty of this industry is that, it's about relationships. We love each other. I know I trust you for whatever. We haven't made a ton of money together, and then maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't happen. But at the end of the day, you really want those fucking relationships, right? And to me, I feel like if you have a good relationship with somebody, you treat them right, the money will come. And if it doesn't come, you fucking have members. We're in Medellin right now. Look, our boys, they hooked us. Sal and more hooked us with the spot. I had nowhere to go. I fucking thought I had a spot locked down. Some shit happened. Boom, I'm here. Right? Because we've been good to each other. That's what happens. It opens doors. I have friends in the industry I've known for like 4 years that I've never done business with, but I know that eventually one day it will happen. Yeah. And I've also had friends that I've just been friends with from the industry for years. And after like 3 years, we eventually started making tons of money together. Yeah, that's how it is. I was just like, calling each other. Like if one of my buddies is like, "Oh, I'm having a bad day. My girlfriend broke up with me." Yeah. I'll call him and be like, "Hey, dude, you're good, dude. Like, look, your life is great." Yeah. And then we don't ever do. We're just you create that. The relationship is everything. That's and then one day I could come to him or her, he or she comes back to me. Yeah. And like, "Hey, I have this huge opportunity, and I think that your team is a great fit for this campaign, offer or whatever." And then we test it out, hit it off, and like, boom. Yeah. Just being cool. being trustworthy, not being shady, not being weird.
Yeah.
Do we look at the camera? Or?
No, we're looking at each other, but whenever you want to look at the camera, that's all good. Oh, good. Look, I think you're talking about creating value, man. And it could be value by helping someone make money. You could be adding value or helping them through a rough time, listening to them, while they're going through a rough time, with breakup or whatever. And that's the shit people remember, that taking time out of your day. You can make money any fucking day, but it's those little things that go a long way, man.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Man. It's huge. Yeah. It's like, if someone comes with the same opportunity to you, and it's like this no-name dude and me, who are you gonna work with?
Exactly. Trust.
Me?
Yeah.
Or the no-name dude?
No, you, of course. Yeah. Absolutely.
He's like, hell no, no-name dude. 100%.
No. But let's talk about something real quick, man, because
my shorts are just getting shorter and shorter.
Because you're spitting fire, man. The more fire you spit, that's what happens.
My pants are trying to come all the way out.
So check this out, baby. I think you and I have different approaches to trade shows, and they both work for both of us. We've made money from trade shows. That's why we keep going there. I take the approach where, in the beginning, I didn't take this approach, but as I got bigger, as I started to put up bigger numbers, I would have booths at every show. I'd bring a big team. We'd sponsor events, right? And we get an ROI on that. And certain shows are better at better ROI. We analyze these things to see which ones make sense or don't make sense to do that. Whereas we met at Chandelier Bar. We were in Bangkok for Philly World. We were at a secret party that there were only some heavy hitters. Right? You were there too, remember?
Only heavy hitters were there.
If you were there, I was there.
I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, man.
Stodolak, let's go.
Let's fucking go, right? So anyway, with that being said, I think you take a different approach where a lot of people take as well, where they won't even get they won't even go to the actual trade floor. They're just hanging out at the bar or whatever, and they get a lot of business done, and you don't spend any money on that. So talk about how has that served you in your
going
growth?
Back to creating like genuine relationships, hanging out somewhere, go to a party, start talking to people, introduce friends to friends. Like, I think there's a huge value in just when you meet someone, you're like, hey, what are you looking for? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't usually ask that, but you'll eventually figure that out.
You'll figure it out, yeah.
And they're like, oh, I need a weight loss offer. Like, dude, I know this dude who has a great weight loss offer. Let me connect you guys. Yeah. Boom. Now it's like we're creating a network, and it just like grows and grows. And like, he helped you. That we all remember that we help each other, and then all of a sudden, we're just growing bigger and bigger together. You know. And
it develops trust. Yeah, we talked about.
But something that I started testing out recently, instead of just like hanging out at the Chandelier Bar, I started getting a huge penthouse and inviting a ton of people up to that. Yeah. And we just all hang out and like have long, focused conversations. Yeah. And that's honestly, that was pretty huge for ASW.
I love that.
Year.
That's awesome.
And a couple of times, like I brought a bunch of people in, and they're talking to each other. I'm not even saying anything. I'm just sitting in the back, and like I'm just hearing like higher than conference level value from their conversation. Just like just hanging out, just hearing it. You know.
That's a great nugget you dropped, man. Because I love the Chandelier Bar, man. Right? And I really believe the Chandelier Bar contributes to a certain percentage of the U.S. GDP. Yeah. I swear to God, man, I made a lot of money there.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're sitting at the Chandelier Bar, if we're even remotely trying to have a conversation like this. Guys like you and guys like me, there's going to be like 40 people that come by.
You get sidetracked.
They're going to be like, yo, Stodolak, is that you, dude? Oh my God.
You forget what the fuck I'm talking about.
Like, hey, I'll see you, dude.
Yeah.
You going to Omnia tonight?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh shit, we were supposed to talk about something.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's like, okay, cool. Like I'll go down there. Like, hey, I have drinks upstairs. Yeah, let's continue this conversation. And we'll just sit there, have a bunch of dudes and go deep. Yeah. You know?
I love that shit. Let's talk about it, because a lot of people they're afraid to spend money. They worry about the ROI. What the fuck? But obviously you spend money on a penthouse at the Cosmo. It's not cheap, man. But I mean, what kind of fucking return you think you get out of that at the end of the day? And I'm not even talking about monetary return, but the relationship return. It's like fucking out of control, right? If you have to fucking think about it.
Yeah, the return's much higher. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't think you can really measure. Yeah. I haven't really been able to measure it yet. Yeah. And plus, a lot of these new affiliates that go to ASW, they're not even 21 yet.
Yeah.
But they're hanging out with like the rest of the dudes. I'm just like, yo, crack a Red Bull and knock yourself out, and let's talk about what's going on. Because like there's always a new generation of like the next dudes who are gonna kill.
Yeah.
18. There's no 17-year-olds, but like 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds can't go to the Chandelier Bar. Yeah. They're hanging out. I'm just like, yo, dude. And then as a more senior dude in the industry, with people who blessed me, I feel obligated to like
pass the torch.
Yeah,
I love it.
And not even like pass the torch. I'm just like, hey, here's what I know. Here's the people I know.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, just hit me up. We're friends now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it goes back to adding value. You add value for them, they remember that shit, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But at the end of the day, if you do that more often, the odds are in your favor of it coming together.
But I don't ever do it in the sense of like, oh, I'm gonna help this kid so he could help me one day.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I'm just gonna like help people, and like, dude, we all grow together. Yeah,
I love it, man, and that's what I like about industry. When it's good, like any business, your team, we grow together. It reminds me of Wu-Tang said, "My seeds grow with his seeds, marry his seeds." That's how we can put money back in all the family, right?
Yeah.
The same shit, man. It's that fucking ecosystem. We all win together, man.
Yeah.
And we lose together too, but then we fucking learn and we get back the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And like, even if you lose, like, we have the network, we're all friends. And like,
we figure the shit out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's like, oh man, dude, I bombed on this campaign. It's like, okay, cool. Like, check this other thing out, or what happened?
Yeah.
You know, I've had people come over and just like look at all the metrics and like, dude, it's this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that it was that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was, you know, when you're working and you're just so in the weeds, it's like easy to get like blind to like what's happening.
Yeah.
So you need that outside person sometimes
to
come in and being like transparent, even if you're new, tell people you're new, you know, still learning, or if you were up and then like shit is down, you're like, yo, dude, my campaigns are down.
Yeah.
And then, dude, as far as the people that our circle is, which is pretty huge and awesome, are willing to like pretty much just go out of our way to just hop on calls with people.
That's what I love about our industry, man. I think that the better your reputation is, the more that happens. People are willing to knowledge share, whereas, especially when I got into the industry in the beginning, people want to keep information to themselves. There's like that scarcity mindset, right?
Yeah, yes.
And you can't grow with a scarcity mindset. So I think that's the beauty that I see. The ones that are the most successful in the industry are willing to give the most information. They're not worried about, am I getting paid on giving it? They don't give a fuck. They're just like, hey, I'll give the information and whatever. You know, either, because truthfully, most people don't do shit with that information. That's what it comes down to, right? So it's all about the execution at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking love it, man. So real quick, so you did Ecom, got into lead gen. Let's talk about pay-per-call, because pay-per-call, I think right now, because of FCC ruling, I think pay-per-call is about to blow the fuck up, man. And I don't know what you feel about it, but I know that you're putting up big numbers. I know we talk.
Are you talking about inbound calls?
Yeah, and pay-per-call, you know, click the calls, and people to drive. That's what you're doing. You're doing a lot of that in the insurance verticals, right? So when pay-per-call is great, but it's hard to crack. What was the moment you cracked it, or you realized you cracked it? Can you walk us through that?
When I realized I cracked it?
Yeah, or like, what was it? There had to be a moment where you're testing a campaign, maybe spending X amount a day, and then all of a sudden, shit, this shit's working. I gotta press the fucking gas. I think you called me one day like, bro, I'm fucking making this shit happen.
I remember calling you, I was like, dude, this shit is taking off. I was like, Stodolak, like, how do you handle this shit? Because I didn't know lead gen. Yeah. I was just figuring stuff out. Yeah. And when did I figure it out? I guess my marketing team was just testing tons of different pay-per-call offers. Mm-hmm. And then one of them hit. And then literally he was like, yo, we spent $500 and made like $3,000. Wow. And I was like, wait, hold on. Okay, let's see if that happens tomorrow. Happened again. I was like, all right. I was like, everything else, like, what are we doing right now? It's like, we're on like 4 different things. And I was like, what are those other 3 things doing? Yeah. It's like, they're losing. I was like, shut them down. Yeah. Let's focus on this. We focus on it. And like, you know, usually when you're testing stuff, you test with one buyer and then you're like, okay, cool. We're going to scale. There's caps and stuff like that, different quality stuff. So then we started reaching out to different buyers and like going deep and like focusing heavy on biz dev. So I spent an entire year of just doing biz dev, like flying around the world, seeing you everywhere, and just making relationships to essentially build like an actual like buyer network and business. Yeah. How much do you think you spent trying to figure it out? Like how much was your total investment until you realized, fuck, that you got that 500, 3,000 a day? Like when? We made that transition from e-commerce to calls, and I think it was like within a couple of months. I mean, obviously the results for us will be much different than most people. Yeah. Because like I have a seasoned marketing team. Like a lot of these guys have worked with me for the past 6 years. Yeah. And so I could pitch them something. I'll be like, sell this agua dente. And then they'll launch some ads, and then, I mean, find out if it crushes or doesn't, right?
Yeah.
So we just were moving through campaigns and stuff. And then the one that hit, and I was like, okay, cool. Nice. Now we got to figure that shit out.
So that put the odds in your favor, having that experienced marketing team, you know, just put the odds in favor. You can collapse time frames and shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it, man. So pay-per-call obviously is growing like crazy, man. It's, you know, there's a lot of ups and downs. We got to spend a lot of money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody really, who's kind of guided you along the way? If any people guide you along the way and help you through this?
Oh, dude, tons.
Yeah, okay.
Tons, man.
Yeah.
Like, everyone in the industry has like helped me out. Like Michael Walker, Carter, Samar, you. I mean, the list is huge.
Yeah.
The list is huge.
Nice.
Of dudes where I'm just like hanging out, and I'm like, dude, what do you think about this? So like, dude, have you tried this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, try it out. Or do you know this guy?
Yeah.
Boom. We work together and like, we build each other up. Yeah. And it goes both ways too, right?
Yeah, I love it. And that's the beauty. Those are all those names you mentioned, all great stand-up people. I know them all, and they're killing it, man. But they're willing to share. They talk about the good, the bad, and ugly. And that's what it's about, man. You know, who do you use for call tracking?
What?
Who do you use for call tracking on pay-per-call?
Ringba.
Best in the game. Good. How's it easy to use? How's been the experience with that?
I actually don't know how to use Ringba. That's awesome. Yeah. No, we have a guy on our team that does ops who does all that stuff. I just know how to look at things and be like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love what you just said, because you're the CEO of the company, right? Of your company. So you don't have to really know Ringba. You just know that it's a good system. You trust them, right? You trust Adam Young. You know that they have a good name in the industry, and then your team works in that. So that ties into something we both are part of. We're both part of EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System. Let's talk about that. How has that helped your business? Because EOS, just, you know, it gets the visionary, the owner of the company, out of the weeds so they can focus on what's more important for making money. So you don't have to be figuring out Ringba. You got someone else doing it, and you can focus on what you're good at. So can you talk about EOS a little bit?
Visionary, right? So
yeah, I'm a visionary too.
It sounds crazy. Like, imagine someone coming out and be like, yo, what are you, dude? You're like, I'm a visionary.
Yeah, it sounds kind of egocentric.
I would never say that.
Yeah.
But, so there's...
Integrator?
No, but there's like, in their book, Rocket Fuel, they kind of describe the roles. So it's like the visionary and the integrator. So like in Disney, it was Walt Disney and his brother. Yeah. And
people don't know about that too.
And Apple was like Steve Jobs and I think Steve Wozniak. Mm-hmm. And it's the guy who has like the big ideas, comes up with it, works on it with the integrator, and the integrator distributes it to the teams to like build it out. Yeah. And for a long time, I made the mistake of trying to play both roles. Where I'm like, I have this crazy idea. I'm gonna have this idea, and then I'm gonna execute it, and then it's gonna work, right? Yeah. And it's kind of hard. Like you kind of have to tag team that, where it's like, I have this idea, then you have to hand it off to a person who like can build it out and maintain it. Because like my thing, I mean, for years I was just like, you know, that hustler grinder mentality where you're like, I'm just gonna make shit work. Yeah. You know, but it's like, if you're coming up with an idea, and even when you do make it work, which we could. Yeah. But like maintaining the day-to-day is just not a part of our skill set, which I found out through the thing, through EOS. Yeah. And then after I found that out, I like was able to accept that I was not that kind of guy. Because I would get stuff working, and then I would be on the daily calls, and I'm just like, dude, all these random small decisions, you know. Yeah. It's just not like part of like our personality set. Correct. Yeah. So I found an amazing integrator. His name's Hunter. Once we clicked together, like the business just exploded. Yeah. In a way that like I couldn't even imagine 2 years ago, you know? Yeah, that's awesome to hear, because I think a lot of people in our space, in any space, I mean, they don't know what the fuck EOS is, and not that they have to know, but we run fast. You're trying to make shit happen. You're trying to get revenue on the table, be profitable, and do this and do that, right? But when you actually start to grow, the shit that got you from, let's say, 500,000 to $1 million a year to 2 million to 3 million, you can't do that with the same team. You need to grow. You need to get the integrator to take you from 3 million to 6 million. The same team that got you from 0 to 5 million is not the same team that's going to get you from 5 million to 50 million. So that's what EOS teaches you, and it's been great for my company as well. I can't emphasize that enough. How has it helped you? Bro, I mean, a lot of organization, a lot more structure. I used to be the one that wanted to have my hands involved in everything, because this was my baby. I started the company in 2016, went from 0 revenue to like, you know,
5 million, 10 million, then you're in the 20s and blah, blah, blah. And like, dude, there's a whole other set of issues once you get to that level, man.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember when you built out your org chart?
Yeah, that was fucking eye-opening. Yeah.
Like, I remember building the org chart out,
and
I was like, I'm trying to do all of these things for and with everyone.
Yeah.
I'm like dipping my toes here and there. And like, once we figured out, it's like, my job is this.
Yes.
Your job is this.
Yeah.
Your finance, marketing, this. And then you just trust your team to do it. Then it works. But when you're trying to dabble in everything, you kind of
fuck yourself.
Fuck things up.
Yeah.
You know, like you're making decisions for them when they should be making their own decisions.
Exactly.
And honestly, like a lot of the times I'm not in the weeds.
Yeah.
In their weeds, right? Yeah. So it's like they'll come to me and be like, hey, this is happening. And I'll be like, do that. It's like, no, they are in the weeds. Like I'm not there. So they make that decision.
Yeah.
You know? And you just have to trust that they make the right decision. And we find out, you know, at our weekly meeting.
Yeah. The scorecards.
Versus me being over there like trying to quarterback everything. You know?
Yeah, I love it. It changes the whole game, and you get the right people in the right seat, and you get out of your own way. You don't realize how you're getting your handcuffing, your hamstringing your company with fucking shit like that because you don't want to let go. So a lot of it is letting go. You gotta let go, man. It's hard to do. Yeah, it really is.
And one of the first times I let go, I was, Ron Hart, right?
Yeah,
you know Ron Hart.
Our boy. Yeah, love
we were in
Chi-Town in the house.
Yeah, we just started implementing EOS.
Yeah,
and I went to Ibiza.
Yeah,
hung out with Ron, and then I remember our clients were like, yo, shit's kind of like falling apart without you here, dude. Never leave your desk.
Yeah.
And then Ron's like, yo, we got this yacht. And I was like,
Ron, by the way, is known for his fucking parties. This guy don't fuck around.
Dude, I hop on the yacht. There's no service.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude. And then pretty much after that, I was like out of contact for like.
Were you pissed for a little bit? Like, what the fuck? My business is going to go to hell?
No, I was like, Ron was like, take this shot at 1942 or something. I was like, okay, cool. And then, I just like essentially gave the team full control.
Your autonomy, yeah.
And then when I came home, they had implemented everything.
Yeah.
And I came home to a stronger company.
Yeah.
A stronger company. They were making their own decisions.
Yeah.
And like I was essentially out of the like day-to-day picture.
Yeah. I love it, man.
Yeah.
That's what has to happen. You know, it sounds kind of fucking doesn't make sense, but it does at the end of the day.
Oh, it makes huge sense. You have to trust your team. Like if you're gonna hire smart people, like you don't want to just tell them you want them to tell you what to do. I mean, everyone says that, but that's where you want to be.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I fucking love this. This has been great.
It's getting dark.
It's getting dark. Yo, what happened? Now you're gonna see Medellin after dark. What goes on over here, right? Shit. I gotta go to a birthday party with my wife and her cousin and all the family.
Am I going to that?
I think you guys are doing something else, but we'll meet up later on tonight for sure, man. Listen, I'm fucking glad we got to do this.
Yeah.
You know, you're one of my boys in the industry, man. You got a great reputation. That shit gets you far. Before we go, man, we're in Colombia, so we gotta do another fucking shot of Guardo, right? You're gonna be doing a lot of this, man. So I'm prepping your ass, man.
Yeah.
Is that yours? Yeah, let's do that shit.
All right.
Another shot, man. Let's go to Medellin. Let's go.
Cheers to Medellin.
Cheers to Medellin. Let's fucking go, baby. Let's make this shit happen. Let's go.